Days and 2 nights. Day 1, here we are at the lovely King Rufus in Ealing. We would do the briefing on the whole for the whole 3 days. Kim's going to knock us up a light lunch, and then we're going to prep for this afternoon's activity. I'd stress this afternoon's activity. I did introduce it to people one year, and they said, when are we actually doing the activity? You know, as they settled in for an afternoon's drinking. And I said, we're doing it after this. When? Now. You know, so it's this afternoon. About 1:45, might be nearer 1 o'clock. We're going to drop you off at a point on the maps I'm going to give you. And you're going to do an exercise, we call it orienteering, but it isn't really. If you've got a compass on your phone, it's no bad thing to activate that, so that at least you know if you're facing approximately in the right direction, relative to the map that you'll be given. Good maps. And you're going to go, I'll give you a fuller briefing on that in a while, but about 3-4 mile walk and then back to a rendezvous point, which funnily enough is another pub. However, that's really only to get you warm and dry in this terrible weather we're having. Then we're going to drive you down to the centre. It's a scout centre called Butcher's Coppice, and it's the other side of Ringwood. So having got to the rendezvous point, you might want a refreshing half before boarding the bus, and my lovely young assistant Alex and I will be driving you down to there. Then, I said dry out, well it's going to be wet out there, so there will be an element of drying out and settle in. About 7 o'clock, we get dinner on the go. You've got various allocated tasks which Sue is going to come to. You're going to choose which group does which task. The first big task is the dinner for this evening. After dinner for this evening, about 8:30ish, there's a couple of management games followed by a quiz. And after that, really, your time is your own. I've put that the orienteering exercise, you're going to compete for points, first, second, third and fourth. The dinner and the other meals will also be scored, and also each team game and the quiz will also be scored in rank order. So, now then. Day 2. It's just a little bit. That was rather good actually. Been practicing on that. Someone banged on the door and said, "Can you control your cough?" And I said, "No, not so far." Anyway, well, we can be rude as well. Anyway, it's about 7 o'clock breakfast, which means the team that's tasked with breakfast is going to have to rise from their bed somewhat earlier than that. We got a ropes course. The ropes course is back up at Bewley, so we need to allow for morning traffic, unfortunately. So we need to get in the bus about 8 o'clock-ish if we want the full value of the day. So I've allowed an hour for the journey. It might be hopelessly out, but hopefully, you know, on our side. The ropes course is a high and low ropes course, so there's an element of problem solving, there's some fairly high stuff, but nobody is made to do anything they don't want to do. You're in the hands of qualified instructors, not lunatics like me, and so you are totally safe. Hard hat, harnessed, you cannot fall off the trees even if you want to, you know. So the idea there is to stretch your comfort zone. Maybe just go a little bit. If you're not going to head for heights, okay, you know, but maybe just try and just go that little bit better. 4 o'clock, we're back in the bus, return to base. We shall have, on both evenings, a minibus ride to a supermarket to lay in essentials. But I propose to do this on the way back from the run this time, so take your money with you in the morning, or your, you know, gold card or whatever you've got. Well, I can see you're not cheap. So there's that. Then a dinner, which is a sort of a burger and beans kind of lash up sort of thing, and then a section of Ginganguli by the campfire.
Singing.
It's a song.
Sorry.
That's it. You'll be able to lead it kind of, the evening then disintegrates. There aren't any more sort of organised games other than what you may care to devise. Who's got the marshmallows? Yes. And that's that really. So don't forget to go to bed at some point. Because day 3, although you get a lie-in, breakfast is at 8. Outdoor clothing still. You're still in dirty mode. Right, so don't want anyone putting back in their interview suit, ready to go. Not yet. So, outdoor clothing. We've got to leave the place really tidy. So begin to start thinking about, getting the empties out of the dormitories and so forth. Start waste and recycling. Breakout exercises. They're either half an hour or 1 hour. We're not going to tell you what they are, except you know that sticks are involved in one of them. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to take us. It's going to take us. It's going to take us through till gone noon to finish that, and then so the exercises will then come to a stop, and then we got to pack. We got to swab down thoroughly and leave everything ship-shape and Bristol fashion, or Boy Scout fashion, if you like. Rubbish disposal and the rest. Then we gather for that exciting moment you've waited so long for, the debrief and the announcement of the winning team that's got the most points. And points mean
nothing at all.
Not in this case.
actually. But anyway, and then we're back on the bus and you can all go to sleep on the way back. Should have you home no later than, well, certainly no later than 4 o'clock, but probably earlier, if we can. So
Depends on us clearing
it's
up.
a matter of the clear up stuff.
We're normally back before 4, aren't we?
Now.